Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As mentioned in my previous video, I'm 24 years old and started my career about a year ago. Right now, I'm focused on setting myself up for the best future I can. Between my fiance and I, we currently earn around $220,000 a year, which is fantastic for our age. It's a high income and we're grateful for it, but it did come at a cost. Together, we took on about $200,000 of debt to get here. At the moment, our biggest financial priorities are paying off that debt, buying a home, and saving for our wedding. We currently owe about $80,000 in student loans and another $70,000 to an interest-free family loan. The monthly payments total around $1,300 a month. Our combined Roth 401k balance is only about $10,000, so even though we earn good money, our net worth is still negative. It might sound discouraging, but the reality is that debt got us into careers that we love and they pay well. And that's a trade-off that we're okay with. So the plan forward, we're going to start with buying a home. Buying a house isn't easy. It takes time, research, and a willingness to compromise. You need to weigh your needs versus wants and be smart about what you're willing to give up. We'll go deeper into this process in another video, but for now, just know we spent a lot of time researching local builders, communities, and sellers. On the financial side, we're saving every dollar we can. Right now, we're able to save about $6,000 a month if we keep our budget tight. And with interest rates hovering around 6.5 to 6.7% for a mortgage, every dollar does count. I use Google Sheets to build a spreadsheet showing how much interest accumulates on a mortgage and how early extra payments can shave off tens of thousands of dollars. Here in this example, we can see we have a loan for $400,000 at 6.7% for a 30-year term. The base monthly payment is roughly $2,600. Looking at these boxes, it shows our original interest is about $520,000, but with just one additional payment of $1,000 in the first month of the loan, we saved nearly $6,200 over the long term. Imagine how much you could save if you just threw an extra $1,000 at the mortgage every month, or even just a consistent $100 to $500. Every dollar matters. With all this money to be considered, my fiance and I are saving as much money as possible to use as a down payment for the house. This is because on a $450,000 loan at 6.7%, we'll for sure gain 6.7% of interest on that $450K. But the $60K that I could use as that down payment, even in a really good market, probably won't gain as much money in the stock market as I would lose by not using it to pay down the mortgage. Paying down a loan of that size and that high of an interest rate will unfortunately have to come before the big investments. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll be trying to max out my 401k immediately after purchasing the house. But all my leftover money will be thrown on the mortgage. And I must admit, we won't be technically using that money in savings for a down payment. We'll be providing the minimum required payment for the house to get ourselves a lower interest rate on the mortgage. This is a relatively new thing. Under the Biden administration, the Down Payment Toward Equity Act and mortgage interest rates went into effect. This act was to help lower income individuals with purchasing a home by providing them with a lower interest rate if they have a lower down payment. Unfortunately, even the richest people are allowed to use a minimum down payment to get this lower interest rate. So I will be taking advantage of that as well. About 1 month after we close on the house and it comes time for the first mortgage payment, I'll put down the rest of the money I've saved for this so-called down payment. I'll make sure that cash is put towards paying down the principal of the loan, not a dollar towards the interest. Then we will do something spectacular. I will recast the loan. This is something I've learned not many people know about. It essentially is just readjusting your monthly payments based on the current principal owed. Recasting doesn't cost anything. It's not the same as refinancing. It doesn't restart or extend the loan. It doesn't change your interest rate. It just adjusts for what you now need to pay off the loan on time. For example, say you take out a loan for $400,000. And your monthly payment is $2,500. Then you pay down the loan to $300,000 and you recast the loan. Well, now your monthly payments might be as low as $1,500 to $1,800 a month. This is all dependent on your interest rate and the size of the loan as well. I just threw some random numbers out there for the sake of the example, so don't hold me to them. But point is, it can make a big difference. It allows the lenience to invest more into the market once you're confident your investments will outweigh your mortgage cost, or even just offers a little more buffer should you ever fall on hard times. Now, a small note to consider with recasting is that you're no longer making as high of payments, you're just paying it off on time, which means in the long run, you will be paying more in interest rather than if you just put all that additional money towards the principal and then continue making your normal payments. But my plan is to recast to give myself that lenience and the buffer that I spoke of. But I'll continue to make extra payments towards the loan to ensure that I pay the least amount of interest possible. We'll get further into house buying the closer I get to actually buying one, but for now, that's my rough sketch plan. Moving forward onto the wedding budget here. We're also saving for our wedding, which is happening in about a year. We don't have a full year to save. We have to pay for things as we go, which makes things a little more difficult, but that's why we're saving so aggressively. Put a hard cap of $20,000 on the wedding, not including the honeymoon, which I've recently learned that is a very cheap wedding. We've compromised on a few things. We've searched far and wide to get all we want while saving every penny we can. For example, we utilize things like Etsy and Facebook Marketplace and other sources to buy our decorations and such. That way we're helping out smaller retailers and our own community here while also getting basically brand new items for a fraction of the price. We've also been utilizing the internet to look for other ways to save a few bucks. For example, we found out that you can buy flowers from Costco or Trader Joe's in bulk, and you just have to order them well ahead of time. You have to clip them and build the bouquets yourself, but we're willing to put in that work. Anything we can do to save a few bucks. There are many other great resources out there. You just got to put in the time to look. Now, I'm not a wedding planner, so I don't have a ton of advice here, but I will share the few things that I've learned so far. Compromise is everything. Work together and find affordable ways to get what matters the most to both of you. Don't tell vendors it's a wedding if you don't have to. The word wedding is basically a code for increase the price. Lastly, utilize your resources. If friends or family offer to help, accept it and show them gratitude. And I'm not talking about just financial help. I mean, if people are willing to come and help set up and put in the hard work, such as clipping those flowers that we just talked about, that is also very important. Any help you can get is a game changer, so just accept and say thank you. Moving forward here, talking about building our net worth after these big expenses. After we've closed on the house and paid for the wedding, we'll start aggressively focusing on growing our net worth and paying off debt. We plan to maximize our Roth 401ks as soon as the house is paid for and we are married. Here's a quick tip for you. If your employer offers a 401k match, always contribute at least enough to get the full match. That is literally free money. If your company matches monthly with that 401k match, do not front load your 401k contributions early in the year. Instead, spread them out so you're contributing every month. That way you don't miss any matching opportunities from the employer. The only exception to this, if your company does non-elective contributions, in that case, max early for more time in the market and higher growth, and the non-elective contributions will happen either way. My fiance and I both invest through Schwab Retirement, which is simple and hands-off. You just pick a target retirement year and Schwab handles the portfolio. I check it every couple of months, but it's 100% stress-free, so no real need to keep a close eye on it. I can't use the money until I'm 59 and a half anyways, so no need. As previously stated, we do plan on maxing this ASAP. That being said, if we need to prioritize paying off the mortgage and student debt first, it will come before maxing the 401k. Debt repayment always gives a guaranteed return, unlike investments, which carry a little risk. Once the student loans are gone, we'll start working on maxing the Roth IRAs as well. We'll manage those ourselves using a safe, diversified portfolio built for long-term growth with minimal maintenance. Here's my rough sketch portfolio idea. I'll invest about 25% into a total market ETF such as VTI, 25% into the top market companies such as VOO, which is Vanguard's version of the S&P 500. Next, I'll put about 20% into international stocks such as VXUS or VEU, and 15% into growth tech exposure like QQQ, and 15% into REITs, which is real estate, such as VNQ. That's my plan with the Roth IRA. Once I've achieved fully maxing the Roth IRAs and I'm earning enough income to invest in my own brokerage account outside of that, I'll start by investing mostly into dividend-paying ETFs. I personally really like SCHD and SCHG, being that they're both very stable and may not pay out crazy amounts of money, but do grow consistently. The goal here is to throw enough money at them to eventually be able to live a humble life off the dividend payments. Ideally, I'll reach this by the time I'm 50. I'll utilize the DRIP method to help obtain this as well. DRIP stands for Dividend Reinvestment Plan. It just means the money you earn back from the dividends go into buying more shares of that stock itself. That way you're now earning dividends off more shares. Assuming I can reach a point where I can coast off the dividend reinvestments to provide this life, I'll take some of my leftover cash and start making slightly riskier investments. But the idea here is that once I have a portfolio that will guarantee a comfortable retirement, the other funds I have can solely be for quality of life, as well as some investments that could not pay out much at all, or maybe pay off big time. I don't plan on investing into anything that has a relatively high chance of failing. I call that gambling. I don't work on Wall Street. All my investments will be primarily long-term safe growth. No option trading, no trading on margins, nothing of that sort. Once again, I will absolutely not invest money into anything I consider risky unless I am 100% okay with losing that money. Lastly, once I'm in my mid to late 40s, I'll begin buying debt, treasury bonds, and that sort of thing. Government bonds are guaranteed payments with interest. They aren't super pretty and spectacular, but it'll promise that the bills always get paid, and they're very low risk. All right, moving forward, looking at the big picture. I want to take care of myself, start a family, own a home, and retire comfortably. Physical fitness is a major priority for me in all this. It's something that grounds me and keeps my head on straight when times are tough. And I want to be the best version of myself I can be for my soon-to-be wife. I say this as a reminder that sometimes the little things make for big changes in your life, and whether you think it's related or not, I firmly believe my mental, physical, and emotional health plays a significant role in my financial standing and overall success. Moving forward, our goal isn't to retire early and disappear. It's just to have the option to retire early, ideally in our 50s, and the freedom to choose how we spend our time. So every dollar we save and invest today is meant to buy us flexibility, peace of mind, and choices later on. To sum this all up, I have no credentials. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a regular guy trying to build a life I'm proud of. The plan is simple. Buy a decent home, marry the woman I love, take care of my body and mind, pay off debt, and invest consistently with the long term in mind. That's the journey, and I'm sharing it in case it helps someone else start theirs. Remember, one decision today, 100 options tomorrow. Thanks for watching.